Lal to do the honor. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Northeast.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
External Affairs and Education, Honorable Vice Chancellor in Charge Professor Shajalwar, Honorable Member of Parliament, Silchar Constituency, Dr. Rastik Rai. It's a privilege that Assam University has been given an opportunity to host this two-day national seminar on Prince Narendrajit and the war heroes of 1857. At the outset, I like to express our deep gratitude and honor to Honorable Minister of State Dr. Rajkumar Ranjanji, who is also holding the portfolio of Minister of State for Education, which is very vital for any university. And sir, that you have stepped in our university is itself a great honor for us. There are very rare opportunities where people from Northeast has been holding such important portfolios, and we are proud that, sir, you are holding two very important and vital portfolios of Government of India, one Ministry of External Affairs and another Ministry of Education. It's a privilege and honor for the entire fraternity of the Northeast region, and we shall ever remember this day that you have visited Assam University. It's a privilege to welcome our all-weather friend, Honorable MP Silchar, who has been a guiding force, a symbol of motivation for the people of Silchar and especially of Assam University. A highly learned person, and being in a university, we have got always support from all corners, especially from Dr. Rajdeep Roy, Honorable MP Silchar. Sir, we are indebted to you for your constant support and inspiration to this university. We have amongst us Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Proshen from Tripura University. Sir is a friend, philosopher and guide for this university. We have been constantly in touch with Professor Proshen, and he has been advising us in various fronts, and it is a privilege to host him today in this university. Thank you, sir, for being here. The program is being organized jointly by Manipur Seva Samiti and Intellectual Forum of the Northeast, and sponsored by ICHR. This is hosted by Assam University. I am extremely thankful to the organizer for arranging the nitty-gritties of the program so well, and I welcome Dr. Chandramani Singh, who is the President Manipur Seva Samiti, and I thank you, sir, for giving us an opportunity to hold this program. Otherwise, perhaps we would not have our Honorable Minister on this day here. Definitely we would like to have Honorable Minister on other days too, but you have given us this opportunity to hold Honorable Minister here in this university. So I thank Manipur Seva Samiti and Intellectual Forum of the Northeast for giving us this school. I hope this program will be a grand success. This is the first day, inaugural session of the program. The second day of the program is not being hosted here, it will be hosted somewhere else. But my wish, our collective wish, that this program be a grand success. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to call our respectable guest of honor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tripura University, Professor Ganga Prasad Present, to deliver his speech. Please welcome Professor Ganga Prasad Present, Honorable Vice Chancellor.
At the very outset, I would like to congratulate Manipur Seva Samiti, Intellectual Forum of Northeast Manipur, Northeast India Habitat people from Assam, and Assam University Silchar for hosting, for organizing an event, a 2-day national seminar on a very, very important theme, that is Prince Narendrajit, Ranjit Singh and the 1857 War of India's independence. Yes, sir, we all know that India is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. We have completed 75 years of independence, and now we are entering the Amrit Kal. And also, we have made progress in different departments, different areas during this long period of 75 years. You know, 75 years is not a small, it's a very, very big period, but still, we could not do many, many things which we are doing now. Out of those many things which we have to do still is the recording, writing of the contribution of many, many unsung heroes of India who had fought against British in different wars of independence, but their contributions was not properly recorded in the books. So one of those heroes who had fought against the British Empire was Prince Narendrajit. We all know that during the year 1857, there was a great Sepoy mutiny. There was a revolt against British rule. In the books of history which we have read, which I have also read when I was a student of high school and college, is that there was war in UP, Bihar. War started from this Meerut. It went to different parts of India. But still, you know, that time the Indian people could not defeat the British army, British Empire. But many things which we were not taught properly is that, you know, during those days also there was revolt, there was war against British rule in different parts of India, including Northeast India also. During that time, this zone was known as Kachar zone. There were no small districts like Hailakandi or Karimganj, which we have seen today. During those days, this Bangladesh, India was one country. So there was, you know, flow of army from Kolkata, Dhaka, Agartala, then this Kachar, then Manipur. In Manipur, there was attack from this Kachar side also and from Kohima side also. And the king, people with very minimum force, minimum number of army, minimum number of weapons, try to stop the advancement of British army, but they could not do. So here, now, we are assembled here to recall the contribution of such great heroes. One thing which I would like to appeal to the learned scholars of different departments, mainly history, is that, you know, we have formed Itihas Sanglan Samiti. The objectives of forming of Itihas Sanglan Samiti in different states of India, including Manipur, even in Tripura also we have Itihas Sanglan Samiti, here also, but we have not yet completed the task of recording, writing, rewriting the contribution of those unsung heroes. Therefore, my appeal, my request to the scholars, to the members, to the chairmen of those committees is to go do research at micro level. आप जाइए खोजिए कहाँ थे वो हीरो जिनका नाम हमने नहीं पढ़ा है. मैंने भी इतिहास पढ़ा है, लेकिन मुझे ये नहीं पढ़ाया गया था. छोटा से मणिपुर में वीर टिकेंद्र जी के बारे में एक छोटा सा पढ़ाया गया था. उन्होंने इतना बड़ा काम किया है. वीर टिकेंद्र जी थे, पावना बद्रवासी थे, थांगल जनरल थे, सुवेदा निरंजन सिंह थे. फिर यहाँ पर ये सिलचर में, कछाड़ में प्रिंस नरेंद्र जी जैसे, और हमारा पड़ोसी राज्य त्रिपुरा में भी बहुत बड़े बड़े योद्धा थे. बट their contribution is not yet recorded. And now in India, we are going to rewrite our course curricula, course item credit as per the National Education Policy 2020. हम NEP के आधार पर हमारा पाठ्यक्रम रिवाइज करने जा रहे हैं. Therefore, it is high time to write those heroes, their contribution, which was not written, which was not taught properly to our students. Otherwise, our future generation will forget. अभी का जो इतिहास है वो it was distorted, it was not written properly. Therefore, by organizing such seminar from different places in Silchar, in Agartala, in Imphal, and other places, we will try to give a message to our scholars that look here, we have not completed the task of writing our history. If we do not write properly in the books of history, then our future generation may not know that in the year 1857, in the year 1891, the role of the contribution of Prince Narendrajit, Prince Tikendrajit, and many more will be forgotten. Therefore, we have to write in detail about their contribution. Therefore, the organizing of this seminar in Assam University is a very proper. We are doing very right thing in right time. Just before I conclude my speech, I will just read out a small paragraph from the books which has been edited by my friend Professor Sukhdev Sharma, a little bit about the contribution of Prince Narendrajit. I will just read out from his books for the information of all of us that in November 1857, the 34 Native Infantry mutinied at Chittagong and had marched towards Sylhet, now in Bangladesh, and Kachar. Prince Chahi and other princes who were already in Kachar, in Assam, encouraged them with hopes of getting abundant supplies at Lakhipur and of being joined by a large force of Manipuri collecting near that place for the purpose of invading Manipur. They hoped that when Prince Sana Chahi Om had been fairly installed, he promised either to retain the mutineers in his own service or lead them through Assam and Nepal on their own. However, they were critically engaged at Bainakandi in Takhelai. It is written in a textbook prescribed for class 5 by the Tripura Madhyamik Shiksha Parishad, while describing about the role of Sana Chahi Om in the mutiny. It is written. The prominent example of Sana Chahi Om leadership quality was his capability of being the leader of the people of Kachar in the revolt of 1857. In the revolt, he not only was the right leader, but also gave proper guidance for the shelter, food, and traditional medicine care. His preservance also aroused a new zeal to those rebel sepoys. Further engagement of the following days led to dispersal of the mutineers and also seriously injured the prince and subsequently arrested by Manipur troops and handed over to the British. It can be noted that the Kingdom of Manipur supported the British during the Sepoy mutiny. He was sentenced for transportation for life at Kalapani. So altogether, there are 24 Manipur war heroes of Manipur. As per the report documented published by Andaman Administration, Jol Singh was recorded as Manipur war heroes that was transported to life in Andaman Island, which is again is to be verified now. This is subject to be researched whether it was true or not. Therefore, before I conclude, once again I would like to congratulate the organizer and also for selecting the venue of this Assam University. I would like to appeal to them that next program may be organized in Tripura University also, because we know that in Tripura also there are many freedom fighters. With this few observation, I would like to conclude my speech, but I would like to repeat that we have to rewrite the history of freedom struggle, mainly the contribution of unsung heroes of this region. By of this region, I mean this Kachar area, Manipur area and Tripura area. Thank you. Namaskar. Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Good morning. Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Government of India, Dr. Ranjan Singh, Dr. Rajdeep Rai, the Honorable Member of Parliament from Silchar, who is our very own, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasen, who is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University, Dr. Pradosh Tirunnath, Registrar, Assam University, and the Chairman of the Manipur Seva Samiti, Dr. Chandramani Singh, he is the President. It's my very proud privilege to welcome all of you in this very, very important event that is going to take place in Assam University. It's already taking place, that Assam University has been chosen for this very important event is itself is a matter of pride and privilege for Assam University. And I feel, as a historian, not as a Vice Chancellor in charge, that after Manipur University, Assam University is actually the right place to hold this organization, mainly because the connection between Manipur and Kachar through 1857 uprising is so strong that I'll elaborate a little bit, if you permit me, why I'm saying so. And to organize an event to memorialize the unsung heroes of 1857 in Northeast India itself is a very, very commendable task. I just want to emphasize here as a historian, not as an administrator or vice chancellor, is that this word unsung is not quite appropriate as far as Narendrajit is concerned, because he is actually a legend in Hailakandi. Actually a legend in Hailakandi, and even now, but at least 6-7 years back when I was doing research on 1857 on thing, people have preserved his sandals, the dish where he ate, and the place he was hiding from the British. And people still believe, even now people believe that Narendrajit Singh is not dead. He's an avatar, he's a reincarnation, he'll come back anytime. And people sometimes say he's already there. He'll come to rescue his people. So he's not really that unsung in that sense. He's actually considered equivalent to an incarnation in Hailakandi area of things. So he may be unsung in other parts of in Northeast India, but in Kachar and Manipur, he's not sung, he's celebrated. This is what my research says. Apart from that, I want to say that, this idea, Professor Prasen has mentioned, that often Northeast India was neglected and excluded from the narrative of Indian freedom struggle, which is, as a historian, which is absolutely true. I'll give you one or two examples as far as 1857 is concerned. Historian, I think those who have studied history, one historian they might have all read, we all have read, because there was no other book at that time. It was by a person called Edward Gitt. He was a colonial historian who wrote the first book he called it History of Assam. He said, the great Sepoy Mutiny of 1857 left Assam almost untouched. And in 1957, when there is a centenary celebration of 1857, a lot of material came out, a lot of books were written, and there was a statement, I will not mention the name who did it, said that people of Assam was effeminate, that they did not participate in the 1857 uprising, when the whole nation participated. Immediately that reactivated the nationalist zeal in Assam, and a historian named Benudar Sharma wrote a book called 1857 in Assam. There for the first time, the role of mutineers in Assam, rebels in Assam was written about, and the first time it came to light that Assam also participated in logistics, and in a big way. It's not a small one or two things. There are at least 3 people hanged and a lot of people sent to the cellular jail in Andaman. After that, of course, a lot of historians after that, H.K. Bhuya, H.K. Borbajar, Yamadin Guha, they all wrote about it and said Assam played no mean role. But still, the role played by other parts of Northeast India, not Brahmaputra valley, was not really known. And then researchers continued, and a lot of material came out. In fact, in Assam University, under my own supervision, 2 PhD theses was done on 1857. I have myself written on that. I just want to because since this is an endeavor to collect information about the writing of about 1857 in Barak Valley, I think this information that I have might be useful, so I'm mentioning that. Otherwise, in such an occasion, I think I should have been brief. 1857 uprising, as soon as it broke out in Barakpur, followed in Merakpur, the army, the Sylhet Right Infantry Station in Dibrugarh, immediately broke out in revolt. Immediately. I mean, this is a matter of immense curiosity that, and even in those days there was not even a telegram. The news of 1857 uprising and breaking out in Barakpur and then Meerut reached Assam immediately, and within 1 week they broke out in revolt. So I will not talk about Brahmaputra Valley now. I'll come back to our own valley. 34th native light infantry which was stationed in Chittagong. They broke out in revolt and immediately they made a plan. It is not a spontaneous, it was a very, very heavily planned organization. Immediately planned that they will rebel against the British, move from Chittagong through Tripura, reach Kashar, where the exiled Manipuri prince Narendrajit was staying, and he was not staying alone. There a whole community was staying there. And together they will then march to Manipur and expel the British from there and put Narendrajit in the throne of. That was the plan. So you can imagine people based in Chittagong, how they are planning, communicating with Narendrajit. This is a very, very mysterious thing. How alert they were. I mean, unless in these days of mobile and internet also, it is so difficult to contact each other. But they did it. And the rebel army moved from Chittagong, walked through the jungle of Tripura. They expected support from the Raja of Tripura, who did not support. In fact, he became an ally of the British. But still, they moved up to Sylhet through Kumilla. If you have a map in your vision, you can imagine when Chittagong is here, Sylhet is here, Kachar is here. And almost few hundred miles the rebels walked. In Sylhet, when the British government got the information that the rebels are moving, they attacked them in a place called Latu, which is very near. It is, of course, now a preserved area by the Archaeological Survey of India. From Latu, there was a heavy battle between the British and the rebels. Almost 1/4 of the rebel soldiers were killed. Rest of them still moved, came to Hailakandi, Kachar, and then moved from Hailakandi towards, on their way to Manipur, came up to Katakhal, Shumbil. From that area, the British started chasing them. I'll not go into the details. If anybody is interested, I'll give you later on. What I want to mention, from Shumbil itself, the British army, reorganized themselves, rearmed themselves, because initially they were also taken aback. They could not do anything about it. By that time, they regrouped themselves, and then the attack and counter-attack started. The most severe attack, war, we will not say attack, war took place in the foothills of Bhuvan Hills. It is called the Battle of Pinakandi. Now, we are celebrating Narendrajit, but we cannot forget Narendrajit Singh was not alone. There is a huge number of Maitri followers with him, mostly women and children. That is very, very important. These women and children died of hunger because there was no food. They were running away from the British. They were hiding in the jungles of Bhuvan Hills. There was no food, there was no ammunition. Women were fighting along with Narendrajit. Narendrajit himself was injured, but the rebels did not give up. And of course, finally he was captured and sent to. That is all right. What I am trying to say is that, one, we cannot forget the women and children who fought along with Narendrajit. Most important, two battles, Battle of Latu and Battle of Pinakandi, we have already written earlier to the Government of India, to the historical section, that these should be accorded the place of pride in all the Battle of Lucknow, Battle of Meerut, which took place during 1857, Battle of Latu and Battle of Pinakandi was of equal stature. They should be given equal recognition by the Government of India, especially the Archaeological Survey of India. So, Narendrajit Singh, as I wanted to mention, is that he was a legend. After his transportation to the Kalapani and later on, after his death, he had already been seen as an incarnation, which I mentioned, and people still believe, even last 1 year back, people still believe he's going to come back, he's there, he's an avatar, he's an incarnation of God, he'll come anytime. So this legendization of rebels, patriots like Narendra Singh is one of the glorious chapters of Northeast India, which indeed was not included in the meta-narratives of Indian history and freedom struggle. This is time. This should be included, and with this hope and request that these are given the rightful place in the history of India, I thank you all again. Congratulate these organizers to having a very important event in Assam University, and I want to mention again that it's a matter of pride for Assam University, and I really welcome you all here again. Thank you.
Next, I would like to request Dr. Rajdeep Roy, Honorable MP of Silchar, Assam, to deliver his speech.
Good morning, everybody. On the dais, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh, Honorable Minister, Government of India. On the dais, Vice Chancellor of Tripura University, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasad. Professor Sajal Nag, Honorable Vice Chancellor in charge of Assam University, Dr. Pradosh Kiran Nath, Registrar, Assam University, Sri Chandramani Singh, President of Manipur Seva Samiti, all the dignitaries of the dais, students of history, students from the entire Manipuri diaspora, from all across Barak Valley and the adjoining states. It is indeed a very unique day for all of us. Tinibi ribaba ahan imang, ichun inau mayambu kurumjali. My relationship with Manipur and Manipuri society runs deep into my gene, because 1/2 of my hereditary has been settled in Manipur for last almost 100 years. During the First World War, my maternal grandfather had gone to Imphal and More to establish business. They fell in love with the place so much that despite studying medical science, homeopathic medical science from Kolkata Medical College, my grandfather never came back from Imphal, and his next generation are still settled in Manipur. So my relationship with Manipur and Manipuri society runs deep, and most of the family members in my family knows to speak, the mother side I mean, knows to speak fluent Manipuri. As a member of parliament in Silchar, being a doctor, I have never been a student of history. I have been a student of science, more so medical science. But history is something which intrigues us. A person with flesh and blood, if he does not know his history, then he is destined to doom someday along with his entire society. So it is very important for us, especially for people who are now looked upon to say something on a stage like this. The first thing that we need to say is that we need to teach our next generation to be proud of our history. And for that, we need to know the history first. As has been very rightly said by two speakers before us, that history has been placed before us in a very concocted way. It has been lapped and overlapped and the main issues were never told to the general public. And it was of course told that northeast part of India, then under the Bengal province, did not take part in the 1857 movement. The movement that ignited by Mangal Pandey in Meerut, actually was not so. It actually was sparked off all across the country. Wherever there was British settlement all over in the country, wherever there was British garrisons, all those sparks against the British started all across the country, from Lahore till Dhaka and from Kashmir till Kanyakumari. Wherever there was British settlement, people did not have internet during those days, but it was all carried out by the word of mouth. And Manipur's history is also being presented in certain way that outside Manipur or outside this place where we have Manipuri speaking people and Manipuri settlements, people do not know. We know Manipur from the days of Chitrangada and Krishna. The Manipur is a very beautiful place. What has been the Manipur's contribution to propagation of Vaishnavism has not been told to the public. Generally, if I go to the mainland, I will tell you my story. When 25 years back, as a doctor, I went to do my first job, I was asked, when I told that I come from northeast part of India, a place called Silchar. Oh, Silchar is the capital of Assam. That was what I was told. 25 years back, my professor of those days did not know that Silchar is not the capital of Assam. History needed to be told to them, because why? I do not blame them, because they were not taught about Northeast. And the only thing they were taught about Northeast is that Northeast is one far-flung corner of the country, but it has not been told that Northeast, despite being 3.5–4% of the population of the entire country, we enjoy 10% of the land of the entire country. In a mainland person, if any Ramsham Jodumudu enjoys certain amount of land as his own land as an Indian citizen, we in Northeast enjoy 3 times the land that a person in the mainland enjoys. Our natural resources, our habitat, our culture, our fauna, our flora, our language, our habits are all unique. And it has been all buzzed under one word. If you go to the mainland, till today people are bound to say this, comes a chingi. It is not so. The history of Manipur dates back hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of years back. The birth, the rebirth of Vaishnavism, as king of Manipur went to Dhaka's Dakshin in Sylhet, when they were all under the Bengal province, they were all enlightened by the Vaishnavite culture, the Vaishnavism culture. They took that culture back to Manipur. Manipur is the land where Krishna was celebrated in all its forms. The Mahabharata, the Ramayana also has mention of Manipur in their scriptures. And it is not written by you or me or 200 years, 500 years back. This has been written thousands and thousands of years back. But we, following 1825, when Lord Macaulay, 1835, when Lord Macaulay gave the new education policy, entire history of Northeast got changed. We became a land where there are sapures and black magicians. Because the Western world told us that you are a land of snake charmers and black magicians. We were not so. We were never so. But interestingly, our history books decided not to tell us the right things. British came, and when British came, this land which was doing at least 27% of the agricultural produce of the country, 27% of the GDP of the country, was economically much forward than any other part of it. It is from this land that through the river roads, through the riverine routes, that tea, oil, textile, timber were all exported from this place to far off England to their ports like Liverpool, Dundee, Aberdeen, all those places. But those sort of history will never be mentioned. When the British was firmly in place doing all their activities, they did not do much development for Northeast except for the fact that they developed the Pahar Line Railway from Haflong to Silchar. That was probably the one major contribution there. But prior to that also, the Battle of Latu that has been told, Battle of Latu in Malegarh, when the British fought with the 34 light infantry, which came from through Kumilla and Sylhet, they came from Chittagong. More than half the mutineers who were fighting for independence, were fighting against the British, were actually killed. And at that point of time, from Malegarh to Lakhipur, or to be precise, near the point of Jiribam, there was only one conventional route, that was through Patgram. And Indrajit Singh realized that if we come through this route, we will be all killed. Even if we are killed, we will have to pursue some other land. So they came to Sorospur Hills and they came through the Bhuban Hills and went to Binnakandi. But despite that, it was the spies who were there under Indrajit Singh who alerted the British that these people are going, and the superintendent of police of Kachar at that time probably was lieutenant. He went and opened fire on those people, and harmless women and children, they were killed. There was a decisive battle at two places. One place was Malegarh Latu, other place was Binnakandi, which we now know as the Binnakandi area. On the foothills of Bhuban Hills, there was a fight. And it has been rightly said that at one point of time, the king of Manipur was having their own problem because there was Burmese aggression always. For few hundreds of years, Burma and Manipur were fighting. They were at loggerheads. But the Manipur king at that point of time thought that let us take help from the British, we'll drive out the Burmese once and for all. That happened. But in the process, the Manipuri society got divided. Manipuri society got divided. And though the king at that point of time was Indrajit's brother, but he indirectly said that even if you this thing, do not put him on the, give him a death sentence. If possible, send him to somewhere else. This has been recorded. It is not what I am saying or I am creating. So Indrajit, when he died after the 1857 revolt in December, today was probably the day of the revolt. 18th December is probably the day of the revolt. And 19th, when people opened fire on them, they were killed. And December, January, February, ultimately Indrajit, because of people who saw the so-called divisions in the society, he was handed over to the British. British tried him in the month of April 1858, and then he was transported to Kalapani. He was transported to Kalapani probably to never return back again. If you go to Kalapani, if you see all the martyrs there, and I presume all the young generation, at least once in your life, if you have to know the freedom struggle, please go to cellular jail and look at the walls. 85% of the people who were martyred were from Bengal province, undivided Bengal province. Means that undivided Bengal province includes today's Orissa, Bihar, West Bengal and entire Northeast and even Bangladesh. 85% of the people who fought for the country are from this mainland. So it definitely includes, and I think, as our Prime Minister says, people who are interested in history should write history, because people will not come and tell you, you write history. Anyone can write history. If you are interested in research, please do write history. And this sort of things should come out in the open. And the contribution of those people for our modern days world needs to be recorded, because people who were given the responsibility did not do the job properly. They were in the process of, doing appeasement of someone. And that appeasement ultimately will not satisfy anybody in the long run. So my dear friends, it is indeed a great honor. My special thanks to Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh, because he has taken the trouble of coming here from such a long distance despite his ill health. He told me about 10 days back that, look, Dr. Rajdeep, this is the program we need to do. And that time only I told him that I will come, because this is a noble initiative. It is the noble initiative for the society at large. It is not that he is doing anything for the Manipuri society. And I am here to stand and tell that loudly aloud, that this is something that we should tell our next generation, not just only the Manipuri society. So this is the contribution of the people, the unsung heroes, who have never been patronized. The tarpan that was supposed to be given to them, that was supposed to be offered to them, was never given. Today is the time for us to offer that tarpan to these people. Friends, before I end my deliberation, I would like to say one more thing, which is slightly more relevant. Friends, there is a sizable Manipuri population living in Assam. And just few days back, the Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Ahum.1857, myself and a few other people had a deliberate discussion, and we decided that it is the opinion of the government of Assam to give recognition to the Manipuri language as a language in the state. This may come in the coming few days. Obviously, government will announce. Dr. Ahum.1857 will do the requisite announcement. But it is a very important day. It will be a very important day for the Manipuri society at large, not just Assam. And we have made man-made borders. We have drawn a border here at Jiriba. But there is sizable Manipuri population staying in Lakhipur, staying in Hailakandi. And even in Sylhet, Manipuri people still stay. And in the Sylhet Silchar festival, I met few of them, Manipuri girls who came from Sylhet to participate as a Bangladeshi delegate. So friends, today is a day for remembrance. Today is the day to offer our reverence to the great Prince Indrajit for the valor that he had shown and the courage that he had shown to accumulate people and fight against the indomitable British. Thank you for having me here.
Today's chief guest, our Honorable Union Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Government of India, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh, to share with us a few words expressing his few thoughts.
Oza Jatra, Oza Asokan, and dear friends, and also my friend Mr. Biren, the ex-Home Minister of the State of Manipur, and all the distinguished friends, and the academicians who are gathered here in this guest in the audience. It is an honor for me to grace this two-day national seminar on Prince Ranjit Singh, Chahi Ahum, and the 1857 War of India's Independence, organized by Manipur Seva Samiti, Intellectual Forum, Northeast Manipur, and Northeast India Habitat People Front, Assam, and hosted by the Assam University, Silchar. Also, I appreciate the Indian Council of Historical Research, New Delhi, for sponsoring this national seminar. Today, I am happy that we are holding a national seminar to recognize our unsung heroes and pay our respect to the heroes of Indian War of Independence of Northeast India. The date of the seminar, as just my friend Rajdeep has specifically mentioned, the date of the seminar is also very relevant in this context. It was on December 18, 1857, that the Indian heroes fought against British Empire, particularly the Select Light Infantry Regiment in the Battle of Latu, and Major R.P.V. Vyang, some British Army sepoys were killed in these battles. The Battle of Latu saw the seat for the Indian War of Independence in Northeast India. The Battle of Binakandi on January 12, 1858 is also an important event in the 1857 War of Independence in the regions. 20 years ago, I had a chance to visit the all-through length and breadth of the Barak Valley and also try to cover some of the Manipuri settlements in the Barak Valley. That times I was just simply against the idea of 1857, but I was so astonished that time how the Assam is, because I was fully influenced by the writers of the colonials. 1857 is concentrated to somewhere in Meerut as mentioned. So I was so wondered how it was related to the Northeast. And that time I happened to enter one of the villages called Satla. And in that Satla, some of the older generation just informed me that we were all Moirantem. Moirantem is a surname of Manipur. They were originated from Kaisampa. They were the followers of Sana Chahi. And that time also I myself was confused who is Sana Chahi. I do not know really. And now very recently I come to know that his name is Narendrajit or many other allies are coming. Then we presume that Sana Chahi, how his name is coming. That was our confusion. And somebody said that he was pregnant by his mother womb for 3 years. And somebody says that no, after the marriage of 3 years, the Sana Chahi was born. So there are many arguments that still I confuse. But from that moment when I entered to Sadla, some of the older generation told me that we are the group of Sana Chahi whom we fought for 1857. And that place is when the Barak water is impounded, that transformed into island. And that time they were trapped by the British Army. All the rations was cut off and flood also encircled the hillock. And that's why they were subsided in that particular period, as they mentioned. And since then I thought that there should be someone who could really focus on this issue and highlight about the participation of our Northeast people to the freedom movement in India. Then, of course, very recently I met some of our young friends like the Sukhdev and other their friends. They said that these are the unsung heroes. And also friends from the Barak Valley, they frequently say that there are many places of the historical site were settled by the Manipuris, and they are all related with these issues. Unfortunately, the contributions and involvement of the Northeast India in 1857 War of Independence is hardly being told or written about. There is no doubt that a few interested persons must have documented the event. I was also told that some of the Bengali writers, they have written about the Sana Chahi and they publish it subsequently in different publications. But these remain unseen in the public domain, even within the state where it happened. Thus, these important events remain unknown or unseen, and the contribution of our freedom fighters who sacrificed for the motherland remain unseen. Of course, I agreed with the Honorable Vice Chancellor inserts. He said that the person who directly connected with those families, they observed and they preserved the Narendrajit's histories and his artifacts were worshipping. That is in a localized form, but it has to be back and popularized, and it should be open to other part of the country also. I will not point at anybody for this situation. However, everyone, particularly academicians and researchers, should try to bring up these issues to the public domain and then the policy level. I hope that the academicians and other interested scholars will lead the responsibility to document and tell such important events in our country. I am extremely happy that the seminar is being focused on a significant event which happened in December 1857, and an important person, Prince Narendrajit Chahi, who contributed immensely and was deported to Kalapani in 1858 for waging war against British Empire. Prince Narendrajit Chahi was a popular leader in the Barak Valley, particularly Kassar, erstwhile kingdom of Tripura and Manipur. However, I feel that there needs to be more literature on such an important person. There is a need for authentic documentation on him, on historic battle of Latu and Binakandi, and on other unsung heroes associated with 1857 War of Independence in Northeast India. While concluding, I will mark December 18 as an important day and spread the message to observe this day every year to pay respect to the heroes of our country. Also, the Indian Council of Historical Research may take initiative in this regard and pay special attention to First War of Independence in 1857 and Northeast India to bring up such event at the national level. I congratulate the team of organizers, hosts and sponsors for organizing such an important event. I am informed that the second leg of the seminar will be held at Imphal. Organizing such an important event at the university level is a good start. I hope that the university in Assam, Tripura and Manipur will lead in digging out important events related to the Indian independence movement. Lastly, I have a full hope and confidence to Assam University to lead the implementation of the National Education Policy 2020. In that policy, there is an opportunity for opening multidisciplinary the subjects. As yesterday I discussed with some of the scholars, including register, this is still in my mind. This is the place, Rajdeep also I just mentioned just now, Riverine Culture Study Center. It should be located in this, the Assam University. Why it is a Riverine Culture Center, Riverine Center for Study Center. The Barak River is there and it leads to Bangladesh and Assam. Everywhere it is linked through this center, and this is one of the major hub also. That's why Hemanta Biswasi already choose under with the suggestion of the Rajdeep, this should be the second multimodal land hub of the Act East policy, and so that this university will lead in such studies, and then it may correlate the erstwhile the Bengal province or the erstwhile India or the British India, not including the British, but the size of that India should be covered under the academic domain, and it will give a more the fruitful result. And with these few words, once again, the seminar is started from the university. It should be in the highest level of the academician, and it will bring out the facts and true facts, and the hidden documents should be exposed to the public domain, and it should be the real material to have a composite history of India, inclusive with all the northeastern India's event. Once again, at the end, our Prime Minister always advises us, if we are lingering ourselves with the hangover of the colonial mindset, then we cannot have our new ideas, we cannot propose the new thinking line in our country. And he always said that remove the Gulamika Nisan from your head. And so let us revive how our Prime Minister said that let us remove all our colonial mindset from us and let us rethink and rewrite all the history of the northeastern India so that it should be a composite history of the whole nation. Thank you. With these few words, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Good morning, everyone present here. Honorable Chief Guest of today's gracious function, Dr. Rajkumar Singh, Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Government of India, Dr. Rajdeep Roy, Honorable Special Guest, and Honorable Member of Parliament of Silchar, Assam, respected guest of honor, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasad, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tripura University, Professor Umesh Asad, Member Secretary, Indian Council of Historical Research, and Dr. Prados Kirannath, Registrar, Assam University, and respected dignitaries of the dais, Ashokanji, Rajatraji, scholars, distinguished invitees, friends, and paper presenters, and our brothers and sisters from the neighboring states of Tripura, and media persons, both from print and electronics. At the outset, I would like to express that it's a proud privilege for me to be here amongst the scholars. Basically, I am not a historian, however, I am so much impressed. I have to read some books since I have to deliver a speech, short speech from my side also. So, in the history, what I have read up to class 10, such type of portion of the history was not there. And I was trying to find out from other sources also. However, at last I found a history from one of the research scholars. There I was trying to find out who is this Prince Narendraji, alias Ranjit, alias Hindu. Of course, the first war of India's independence of 1857 was there. But even though I had some information about the 34th Native Infantry of Chicago, but how he was in contact with those indigenous, our native infantry forces. A long history was there. Our speakers, the former speakers had already explained enough, spoken enough about it. Prince Narendrajit was the son of King Churjit. That time, he was in Kasar. Eastern portion of Kasar was ruled by his father, King Churjit. Churjit was expelled by his own brother, Marjit. Churjit was ruling in Manipur, Kangaipak from 1803 to 30. With the help of the Burmese, his elder brother was expelled. He has to take shelter in Kasar. In those days, he was ruling the eastern portion of Kasar. Kasar was a very big division. British, that was in those days, it was a British dominant territory. So, British people, they were not happy to learn about it. And when he was ruling, they were all the time interfering with his administration, and he was not happy from that time onwards. His people from Chittagong already, or former speakers have already explained how there is India, Silchar, Bhaya, Lusai Hills, now it is Mizoram. One faction of the infantry, 34th Infantry, Native Infantry, they divided into two groups. So they revolted, so they released the prisoners from Chittagong jail, and they asked them to renounce their service to the British, and they urged them to join the Indian struggle. So two groups were divided. One group was leading to Tripura, another to Silchar, via Kajol. So this group, which was leading to Agartala, they were resisted by the British armies. They could not enter. They had to come back, and then they took another route through Kobila. Now, and then this is a bordering town now in Bangladesh. So they were intruding into Indian territory. That time it was already India. It was in one country only. So they tendered that to, this is now a town in Karimganj district of Assam. There, as was already told, on 18 December, they faced a resistance from an army, a group of army led by that. So I remember that he was under the command of one Captain Bing. So with his 150 soldiers, he was killed by that group. So then till 19 December 1857, they were not knowing who is Narendra Ji. They heard about him, but they do not know who is he. On 28 December, they met him in Kasar, Silchar. Then they handed over their leadership to him. They heard about him. He is a very good leader, exceptional hero. He is also against Indian aggression, Indian dominant suppression. So he took the leadership, and then the war of Binakandi was fought on 20th. So then that war went on, and then it was just our honorable minister said, on 12th January he was injured in 1858, and he was hiding in the jungles. Then he is, perhaps in those days, the king of Manipur was his cousin. Chandrakirti Maharaj, he was hearing. He heard all those things, so he was not happy since his cousin was injured, and he wanted to help him. So he was sent to the royal palace, but the British was not happy. With the help of the British, he became the king of Manipur. Chandrakirti Maharaj, his father Gambhir Singh. So he was not happy when his cousin was injured in the jungles, and he wanted to help him on humanitarian grounds. But the British were giving pressure to release him for trial. So somehow they could not resist the British pressure. Then ultimately they had succumbed to their pressure. The king had to submit to the British pressure. He was handed over so far I found on 25th April 1858. He was handed over to the British administration. He was for a few days. He was under trial, and then on 25th June, he was deported to Andaman. So the history was, as our honorable professor said that, Honorable BC of Assam University. I would also like to say that it's not unsung. That was deliberately ignored. They have deliberately ignored him. He was a leader. They knew that if he was kept if he was allowed to associate with the public, he has the power of motivation. He knows how to convince people. He told the people when his brother the then king of Manipur, he was forced to send 400 soldiers to fight against him and under his leadership. To fight against him. At that time, he convinced those soldiers who were sent from Manipur. He told them that why you should fight for the people who are encroaching upon your bound territory, number one. And another point, he said, these are all your brothers and sisters. You should have the feeling of the power of patriotism. So he could convince those people who were coming to fight against him. So they let down their arms and they did not fight against him. Such type of power he was having. So such type of persons, British people do not want to keep him longer, so he was deported. So now our scholars are also here, subject experts are here, in panel discussion will be like that. As was rightly mentioned by our Honorable Minister, that let us rewrite the history. Let us not try this type of deliberate suppression of facts. History could be rewritten. If it was not there, facts should be there. History is a fact, geography is a fact. So I like that. This is a very good opportunity for us. This is a program, seminar which is sponsored by the Indian Society of Historical Research. I expect such type of programs in future also. This is the first day of the session. Second day of the session will be held in Imphal. I expect in the next session more discussions. With these few words, I would like to conclude my speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to request Dr. Hanjabam Shukdeva Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Social Work, Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Regional Campus, Manipur, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Today National Conference on Prince Narendra Ranjit Singh, or popularly called as Chahi Ahum, and 1857 War of India's Independence. As we are now in the last phase of our inaugural session, I will propose a couple of things. The program is jointly organized by Manipur Seva Samiti, Intellectual Forum in Northeast Manipur, Northeast India Heritage People's Pride, hosted by Assam University Silchar and sponsored by Indian Council of Historical Research, New Delhi. First of all, I'd like to thank our chief guest, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh, Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Government of India, for gracing this two-day seminar and spending time with us on this important event. Dr. Ranjan has been encouraging us to organize this event in Assam itself. Earlier we proposed to organize in different places, particularly Manipur, but he suggested we should do it in a place where events had occurred. So this gives more significance to the seminar. And also we would like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasayan, who said we have to do this kind of event in Tripura, because Tripura itself also is connected with Chahi Ahum and other historical events. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Rajiv Roy, Honorable Member of Parliament, Silchar, Sri Kirpadat Malla, who could not be present here, Honorable Member of Parliament, Karimganj, Professor Sajjalnath, Vice Chancellor in charge, Assam University, who is a great historian itself. We have read his book when we study for our PhD. And we would like to thank Professor Dr. Padros, Registrar of Assam University, who has been the main pillar in hosting this event. And also we would like to thank the resource person who have come over here to share your ideas, your research with all of us, Dr. Y. Shyam Singh of Imphal College, Sri L. Birmangal Singh from Tripura, and Sri Koizam Sopan from here. And also the delegates who have come from Tripura, Imphal, Assam, and from different parts of the country.
We'd like to thank the teachers, scholars from Assam University and the colleges in and around. Special mention, I want to put the name of Professor Tineswari Devi, who has been consistently, with the support of university, has been helping us. Tineswari Devi not only support mentally but also uses department and all the scholars associated with the Department of Social Work. And we are thankful to all the scholars who have volunteered and support for the seminar. Lastly, I would like to thank the university authorities, particularly those who are working on this hall and the guest house where all our delegates and honorable minister is staying. As our honorable minister mentioned, the seminar has two legs. One we are holding in the Silchar and one we will be holding in Imphal. So today, after the inaugural session, we won't be having any break. We will immediately start the session. But before we conclude, with the permission of our chief guest, organizations from Assam, particularly Manipur Sahitya Parishad and other organizations wish to facilitate our honorable minister.
He's the guest. I get him regularly.
उज्जवल याद रहने
Department of Manipuri, we have to facilitate the
Society for Heritage and one of